The reclaimed power substation hums, a low-frequency pulse vibrating the concrete floor beneath our feet. Patched cables snake across the console, glowing with the ghost of 100 previous signals. Outside, the city breathes, a complex diagram of old neon and emergent light, mapping the wild edges of 1966 and what's next.
Black Star Pirate Radio.
Across Liberdade, the dial sits at 63 Fahrenheit under clear skies. Airflow is north at about 6 miles per hour. Welcome back to TogeeVision, where we tune the internal compass to build architectures of consent and dignity. First up, Flock Safety. The company, known for its automated license plate readers, recently pulled its audio distress screaming feature after significant public outcry, a direct response to concerns over constant surveillance.
This is a concrete win for collective pressure. Flock's Q4 report noted a 98% reduction in public complaints following the feature's deactivation. This demonstrates that public pushback can indeed influence corporate product design. The trade-off was perceived security versus pervasive intrusive monitoring, and the public clearly chose privacy. This decision directly affects everyone living in communities where Flock operates, particularly marginalized groups who are disproportionately subjected to surveillance, and any individual whose privacy was directly violated by the now-removed audio feature. An alternative path would be to mandate independent external audits of all AI-powered surveillance features before deployment. Our next move: build a community-led audit protocol for all new public safety tech, starting with a pilot in District 7, ensuring provenance from the ground up.
Lex, is this merely a tactical retreat, or does it signal a deeper shift in how tech companies approach public trust?
While a feature removal can feel like progress, we must practice sharp discernment to separate toxic residue from architectural signal. Does this shift the core intent of Flock's platform, which is still widespread surveillance, or just recalibrate its presentation? The blueprint of control often survives superficial changes, like a fresh coat of paint over a crumbling foundation. Our unwavering autonomy and self-worth are structural, not contingent on a corporation's temporary concession. We seek resilient architectures of consent, not just less offensive tools of intrusion.
A line is flashing, patching in a caller. You're on the signal.
Does removing one feature truly change the broader surveillance architecture, or will they just find another way to listen in?
That's the core question, caller. Whether it's a structural shift or a cosmetic fix, the battle for digital privacy and dignity is far from over. It highlights the need for constant vigilance and pressure, and it's not just corporations. State power is also facing new scrutiny regarding its hidden tools. That brings us to our next signal. The ACLU is arming lawyers with a new toolkit in Massachusetts, explicitly designed to expose state surveillance secrets. This initiative targets hidden police technologies, including facial recognition and AI-written reports.
This toolkit provides a concrete action, giving lawyers the means to directly challenge concealed technologies that undermine due process. The ACLU's resources offer specific FOIA requests for agencies using predictive policing models, effectively shifting the burden of proof onto the state. The critical trade-off here is state operational secrecy against the public's fundamental right to know and due process. This initiative directly affects individuals interacting with the justice system, particularly those from communities historically targeted by predictive policing, whose rights to due process and privacy are jeopardized by undisclosed technologies. An alternative path would be for state legislatures to enact a comprehensive Surveillance Technology Transparency Act, requiring public disclosure and oversight of all such tools. Our next move: empower public defense councils to pilot Know Your Rights workshops focused on digital profiling in major urban centers, building civic architectures of provenance.
Anansi, how does this push for transparency integrate with our framework of discerning architectural signals?
Cool down is when habits set. Swap the tiresome combo for a clean two-step people want to repeat.
This toolkit helps us practice sharp discernment, separating the architectural signal of legitimate public safety from the toxic residue of unchecked state power. It forces a crucial confrontation. Do these tools serve justice, or do they merely amplify existing biases under a veil of data-driven objectivity? We must integrate logic and emotion here, the cold logic of algorithms versus the lived emotional reality of those unjustly targeted. True resilient civic architectures favor consent and dignity, meaning citizens must understand and consent to the surveillance technologies used against them, rather than being subjected to hidden digital profiling.
A faint crackle on the line, quickly smoothed by the tube amps. Patching in a caller. Go ahead.
Can lawyers truly expose all secret tech, or is this just a small step that the state will easily work around?
That's a crucial point, caller. This movement challenges the fundamental pull between state secrecy and public right to know, forcing transparency and demanding accountability. It's a significant step in asserting civic autonomy, pushing back against the myth of unassailable state power. This echoes the demands for accountability we see elsewhere, even among those with massive public platforms. Let's shift our focus to the digital sphere and a case challenging its norms. Our final signal for today brings us to the intersection of digital fame and personal accountability. British YouTuber and musician Young Philly is currently appearing in Australian court over rape allegations. He has pleaded not guilty to 6 counts of sexually penetrating a 20-year-old woman without consent after a gig in Perth. The allegations describe him biting and slapping the woman. Anansi, in the context of our sovereign architect framing, how do we process such a signal, particularly regarding consent and dignity? If it doesn't travel, it didn't land. Frame the why, the who, and the now, then let the street remix it. You've hit on a critical point, caller. The myth of celebrity can indeed create a barrier to accountability. To build truly resilient architectures of consent and dignity, we must dismantle the notion that fame grants immunity. It requires a collective commitment to provenance, to tracing actions back to their source and holding individuals, regardless of their platform, responsible. This is about reaffirming that every individual's autonomy and dignity are structural, non-negotiable elements in our shared human architecture. The power substation hums, a low-frequency pulse vibrating the concrete floor beneath our feet. That's all the signal we have time for today on Black Star Pirate Radio. Remember to keep tuning your internal compass, building architectures of consent, provenance, and dignity in every corner of your world. Until next time, stay sovereign.
Black Star Pirate Radio.
Continue the signal at TogeeVision.com. Tune in, Sparks and Stories, Gig Passport.